In this video, we're going to talk about a U.S. single-family home foreclosure activity in 2024, what the trends are, and then we'll break it out by states, where we're seeing through the different states across the country. And we'll wrap up the video talking about, different types of home purchase transactions, percentage of cash sales, FHA, et cetera. So first, let's dive into U.S. foreclosure activity in 2024. It's an Adam Data article that has plenty of good data always. And we will start off talking about what did 24 look like with regards to foreclosure filings. And they talk about three pieces of the funnel here that we've talked about before. You have your default notices, your scheduled auctions, and your bank repossessions. And default notices is the first end of the funnel where a borrower doesn't make payments on their property, and then the bank usually sends a letter, with a friendly reminder asking them please pay up. And then after a few of those letters, the property is then eventually scheduled for an auction here, and that's usually at the county steps, also known as sheriff's sales in some areas. So that is the second piece of the funnel. And then the final piece of the funnel is it goes through the first two steps here and then ultimately goes back to the bank. And that becomes an REO property or real estate owned property. We got more videos on our channel about those three pieces of the funnel. So check out the channel if you want to learn more on those three. Now back to the report here. We looked at, so all three pieces here represented about 322,000 properties in 2024 that were part of this foreclosure filing process. That's down 10% from 2023 and down only 1% from 22. And if we go, pre-COVID, pre-pandemic back to 2019, we're down about 35% from there. And some of the pressures on why this is lower than it was before is the 2020 and 21. There's a lot of bank suppressed foreclosures given the pandemic, and then we saw a shot up on real estate prices. So a lot of people are sitting on low interest rates and a lot of higher equity properties, and that's kind of suppressed some of the foreclosure filings that we've seen in the past. Put things in perspective, when it was the craziest post Great Depression, we had about 2.9 million, down about 90% from there. So that's overall a good chart here, kind of takes it all the way back to 2005. And the green bar is the number of properties with the foreclosure filing. Again, those three pieces of the funnel. And then this is the foreclosure rate, percentage of housing units. So the last few years are about 0.25% of properties went through the foreclosure process or in part in some of the foreclosure process. And then pre-pandemic levels there is about 0.5%. Now, overall, as mentioned earlier, the foreclosure starts. That's like the front end of the file. That's like getting the 90-day notice letter for not paying your mortgage. That's about 253,000, and that's down 6% from 23, but it's up a lot from 21. And again, that was a lot of the banks not foreclosing and starting the foreclosure process then, and it's down 25% from 2019. And you're going to see great variance in different states, and I'll get to that chart later. And now the third piece of the funnel here is this is all the way with the bank repossessions. And in 24, we saw 36,500 properties that became an REO, and that's down 13% from 2023 and down 75% from 2019. So again, there's going to be a lot of variance between states, but some of the states that saw the greatest number of REOs in 24 are California, Illinois, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Texas. So that's the numbers. The average time to foreclosure, it's pretty much 2 years still. It's been like that for the last several quarters. Seen a downtip than it was in the 2020s, 21s. However, from call it start to finish to becoming an REO property essentially could be up to 2 years. And then they also, Adam Data breaks out just fourth quarter itself of 2024, and it compared it to the previous quarter. So third quarter of 24, it was down 3%. And then fourth quarter of 24 versus first quarter of 23, it was about down 9% foreclosure activity. So those are some of the key takeaways. Just wanted to share. Again, just kind of end with the chart here that highlights it. And we've been pretty much flattish the last 3 years from a foreclosure process. And that makes sense given a huge rise in home prices. A lot more homeowners are sitting on equity and have a lot more options if financial struggle happens. They could actually sell a property and it's not underwater. Next, we want to pivot to is helpful little chart here on foreclosure activity by state. And this is for December of 2024. And you can kind of see the state rank here. You have this is they have it filtered on total foreclosure filings, so by count here. And then for each state, you see that the column here, how does December 24 rank versus the previous month of November versus the previous December. In certain states, you're seeing a decrease month over month, year over year. Other states like Michigan, you're seeing increases. So the national numbers that we saw in the last article, this is basically taking it a step further and showing you the different variances across the states, across the country. So we'll share this article link in the video below. That way you can kind of digest it and go through it. But overall, the big states that are seeing swings down are New York, Illinois, Ohio, Pennsylvania, kind of year over year there. And then you have some states seeing double-digit increases as well. And then lastly, here, I thought it was a good chart to share. It's just historical U.S. home sales broken out by type. And the yellow represents institutional investors. That's the orange represents institutional investors. The yellow represents cash sales, and the green represents FHA sales. And you can kind of see here, institutional activity picked up 21 and 22. However, it's kind of been downward trending since. And zoom in here, cash sales have gone from like 33% up to about 38% of purchases, whereas it's been hovering around 8% for the most part for FHA mortgages post 2020. So hopefully these videos were helpful, kind of just sharing some of the market news that we're seeing in the foreclosure filings. If any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. If you have any questions just on buying REO properties or learning more about the process, we've got tons of other videos on our channel to help you out. If you got some value out of this, please share the video and smash the like button, and have a great day.